The chair they gave me wasn't inside the wedding hall. It was pushed against the wall outside, facing the exit sign. Through the open doors, I could hear the laughter of guests, music, and clinking glasses. Everyone inside was celebrating while I sat holding my gift, my name nowhere on the tables. Her mother-in-law brushed past me, smirking. "Only close family gets a table," she said, voice dripping with condescension. My sister, veil pinned, champagne in hand, giggled from across the threshold. The message was clear: you don't count. I didn't answer, I just stared long enough for her smile to tremble and crack. Calmly, I stood, picked up my gift, and walked toward the door. My pulse thumped, but my hands were steady. "I'm leaving," I said quietly, but with certainty. The color drained from her cheeks. "Wait," she tried, but I had already turned toward the exit. It wasn't just arrogance or cruelty, it was strategy. Someone wanted me erased from the wedding. No seat, no photos, no role in their story. I didn't drive away. Instead, I sat in my car, watching the glow of the ballroom lights through the windshield. My reflection looked calm, too calm, unnervingly calm. Her giggle replayed in my mind, sharp, deliberate, a warning. This wasn't just exclusion. I realized then that the wedding was more than a celebration. It was a shield against something I wasn't supposed to see. My seat outside wasn't an accident, it was a message. And I knew one thing: silence would be my weapon. Months earlier, I had seen my sister's fiancé at a bar, not alone. His hand rested on another woman's back as he whispered into her hair. When he noticed me, he straightened, smiled too quickly, and raised his glass. I buried the memory, telling myself I was imagining things. But at the wedding, everything clicked. My sister's dismissal wasn't arrogance, it was protection. Someone was hiding something, and I wasn't meant to know. That's why there was no seat, no card, no welcome. I wasn't family, I was risk. I leaned back in the car seat, exhaling slowly. They thought that pushing me aside would work, but I had learned that silence can be lethal. The wedding wasn't just about celebration, it was about control, manipulation, and secrecy. Over the next few weeks, I began to move carefully. No calls, no confrontations, just observation. Every gesture, every word, every laugh had meaning. The more I watched, the more the pieces of the puzzle began to fit together. I returned to the bar, paid the bartender for receipts. He remembered the groom and the woman, blonde, sharp laugh, always ordering whiskey. I followed bank records and hotel charges, tracing a pattern of secrecy. Every late-night call, every unlisted number, every small detail mattered. On the surface, I remained polite, attending family dinners, sending congratulatory messages, smiling at everyone. But at night, I revisited the evidence. Receipts, photos, phone logs, each piece tightening the knot inside me. It wasn't just a fling. The blonde wasn't a secret kept in whispers, she was pregnant. Clinic intake forms quietly signed with the groom's name. My pulse slowed as I stared at the papers under the desk lamp. The storm inside me went quiet. Everything lined up perfectly, like a puzzle forming itself. I didn't rush to confront my sister. Precision was key. Patience was essential. I knew that exposing the truth at the wrong moment could backfire, so I waited, observed, collected more evidence. Every phone log, every receipt, every photo was a thread in the story I was about to tell. I revisited the bar, cross-checked charges on shared hotel accounts, mapped phone calls to dates and times. Every detail confirmed what I had suspected: deception at the heart of my sister's marriage. My hands trembled, but only slightly. Mostly, I felt calm, cold, determined. When the moment arrived, I would strike, not in anger, but with precision. Silence had prepared me. Observation had armed me. The wedding had pushed me outside the circle, but I would re-enter on my own terms with proof that could not be ignored. I imagined her face, her husband's smug expression. I pictured the in-laws, arrogant and unbothered. All of them would be confronted with a truth they had hidden from the world. And I would be calm, steady, unshaken. Because this wasn't about revenge. It was about clarity, about justice, about revealing the truth that they had tried to bury, and I was ready. The night came quietly. I handed the envelope to my sister at her new house. She opened it expecting a card. Instead, her laughter died mid-throat. Her eyes scanned the words once, twice, and froze. Her breath hitched. Knuckles whitened. "Where did you get this?" she whispered, panic creeping into her voice. I didn't answer. Silence said more than words could. I leaned back, calm and cold. "Now tell me," I said quietly, "do I count?" The shock on her face was undeniable. Fear, betrayal, guilt, all at once. The years of exclusion, the condescension, the smugness of her mother-in-law, they all dissolved in that instant. She opened her mouth, but no sound came. Her world was unraveling silently in the stillness of my gaze. I watched her tremble, powerless, as the truth settled over her like a heavy weight. This was only the beginning. The envelope was just the first strike. I had prepared more evidence, more proof. The documents, meticulously collected over weeks, were ready to dismantle every lie. The wedding had pushed me outside, but now I had placed myself at the center of their undoing. They had tried to erase me, but in their attempt, they had left the perfect opening. And I would not waste it. The next night, the anniversary dinner. The room was full of family. Forced laughter echoed against the walls. Her husband, smug and unbothered, sat at the head of the table. Dessert arrived, and I slid the folder between the wine glasses. He picked it up, frowning, curiosity quickly turning to panic. The documents reflected his life back at him. Every secret, every deception, every hidden act. His face collapsed under the weight of exposure. Gasps spread across the table like wildfire. Her tears fell. The in-laws, smug the day before, now frozen in shock. I spoke, calm, precise. "Only close family gets a table, right?" I asked. The silence was deafening. It cut deeper than words ever could. My sister's husband tried to respond, to deny, but the documents spoke louder. His mask shattered, and the truth was undeniable. I leaned back, hands folded, detached, watching the ruin unfold. There was no chaos, no yelling, just the quiet devastation of a life laid bare. They had tried to erase me from the wedding, but now their carefully constructed world was collapsing. And I had remained untouched, calm, patient, waiting for the exact moment. Driving home that night, the air felt different, lighter, cleaner. The storm inside me had passed, no weight on my chest, no need for revenge because clarity had already achieved its goal. They had tried to define me, exclude me, erase me. But I had discovered something stronger: freedom, true freedom, freedom from manipulation, betrayal, and lies. And I realized that once tasted, it could never be returned. Family can hurt, family can betray, but sometimes the hardest lessons teach the most powerful truths. I had been pushed aside, silenced, ignored. And in that silence, I had found strength, patience, and the ability to act when the moment was right. I knew the in-laws, my sister and her husband, would spend years undoing the shame, the exposure, the truth. But I didn't need to watch. My part was done. The wedding had tried to erase me, but the truth had reclaimed me. And the calm satisfaction of that victory was mine alone. Some people think family is forever, but family can hurt, betray, and deceive. Sometimes the ones we trust the most teach us the hardest lessons. If you've ever been pushed aside or silenced by someone you trusted, hit like, subscribe, and comment below. Share your story, I want to hear it. And next time we'll uncover another secret, one so hidden, so carefully protected, that exposing it will change everything. Because the truth always finds a way.